Dear friends, the Holy Mother Church today celebrates the feast of the Holy Family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Today, we shall be reflecting on the theme, a good family is a happy family. The fathers of the Vatican II Council narrates to us that the family is a domestic church. And in their letter in 2015, the Catholic Bishops' Conference came up with a work called The Family. A good family is a good nation. Dear friends, how can we know a good family? A good family is a family that has respect for each and everyone in the family. A good family is a family that has obedience to God, because the fear of God is the beginning of knowledge, the beginning of wisdom. Another character is that a good family is a family that has faith in God. This has to do with spiritual life. A good family is a prayerful family. A good family is a family that gathers together in communion. A good family fears God, and a good family makes sure that everyone in the family knows God. Everyone in the family has a good knowledge of the Bible, a good knowledge of the scriptures, a good knowledge of God, and that everyone has a God-fearing spirit. And then again, dear friends, a good family is a family that is filled with love. God is love, and so whoever shares love shares God amongst the people. And so, dear friends, let us look into the readings to see how connected they are to what the church is celebrating today. And by the way, why is the church celebrating? Why is the church calling our minds to this holy family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph? When we look into the readings, we will know the reasons why the church calls our attention to this holy family. The church says that this holy family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph is the fundamental, the original, and the first family from where we should draw or refuel, from where we should look into. This is a family we should look into and then redress our own families. Today we have broken families. Broken Christian families. Why? Because many families are so ignorant about God. Many families are careless. And many families, again, are also being destroyed by the enemy. Now, dear friends, let's look into now the readings now. Now, in the first reading from the book of Genesis chapter 15, the story of Abraham presents to us a beginning of a historical biblical story. A story that gives us that Abraham's faith led him into having a descendant, a heir that will take care of his wealth. And then, dear friends, the world was going into an extinction. But Abraham's faith, Abraham's story brought this extinction to an end. And then the coming of his heir created a family, a good family, and a continuous family, a family that you and I enjoy today. Abraham's faith. And so the church presents to us this passage of the Bible, passage of Genesis chapter 15, to help us look into our families. That faith can move mountains, and every family that has faith is a good family, and a good family is a happy family. Abraham's own case presents to us, it helps us enlarge our own notion about the family, our own notion about holiness, and our own notion about God being with his people, and that the domestic church, which the fathers of the Vatican II tells us about. And so, dear friends, in the second reading from the letter to the Hebrews, the author of the letter to the Hebrews also tries to call the attention of his audience to that solid fact of being good Christians and then a good family. The Hebrews they were into a situation of suffering. Their journey to conversion was not a joyful one, was a painful, filled with agony and sufferings. And so the letter to the Hebrews tries to advise, tries to convince them. But the passage today, Hebrews chapter 2, tries to give some examples of heroes who made their families a good one. One of the heroes we're talking about is Abraham. Now, Abraham, one of his characters is that Abraham accepted to go to a nation, to a country he does not know. This is out of faith. And then again, out of his faith, he became a father at old age. And another one is that out of his faith and obedience, Abraham himself became the father of a multitude nation. And so, dear friends, Abraham and Sarah struggled to create a family. But the author of the letter to the Hebrews tries to call our minds to that fact of faith. Now, he also calls our minds to that fact of the universal family. It presents Abraham's story as an example of a universal family for faith in God and then seeing the humankind as brothers and sisters. That is actually what the church is teaching. That in a community of Christians, God is our Father, and then everyone is equal before God. For before God, as human beings created in the image and likeness of God, we are all brothers and sisters. And so this story creates a different notion, a notion that you and I as Christians need to build as we journey towards God in our families. For our families are domestic church, the domestic church that the Vatican II fathers teach us about. And so, dear friends, another one, now when we go to the third reading, that is the gospel reading today from Luke chapter 2, there are lessons we need to learn from this gospel. The evangelist Luke presents again to us another episode of the lesson of what the church celebrates today, the Holy Family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. It presents a story that is divided into three. The story of Jesus, that is the presentation in the temple, and one again, the significance of Simeon's gesture, and then the story of Anna. Now, in the presentation in the temple, Christ was presented in the temple. It was an obedience that the parents of Jesus Christ obeyed the law and did all that they were supposed to do as fathers, as parents. So they did it in obedience to the law. It is a lesson to all our parents, all families, that despite the fact that we are Christians, we are also members of the society, and we are bound to obey both the laws of God and the laws of the society. And then the most important part of the gospel reading, which is Simeon's gesture. The significant effect of Simeon's gesture is that, one, Simeon presented Christ to the world, a symbol that shows that Christ is for you and I, for everyone, both Jews and Gentiles. And so Simeon symbolizes the people of Israel who are in constant hope of the Messiah, who are always in expectation of the Messiah. So now, our work as Christians is to present Christ to everyone. Everyone is entitled to this salvation, for Christ has died for us. So we have to present Christ to the people. And then again, the Simeon's gesture also shows to us that he is a model to parents, a model to the elderly in the society. he was optimistic of that salvation which was prepared for all nations. He has seen the first, he has seen the beginning, and so he was very happy. And so in his happiness, he presented this son to the world. And so, dear friends, one important fact again about Simeon's gesture is the fact that Simeon, though he was optimistic, but Simeon was very happy about the whole situation. And then he was prayerful. In his prayers, he goes close to God and he presents this to his people. And so, dear friends, the whole story is teaching us a lot of lessons. A lot of lessons that as father, as parents in the family, we need to share love. We need to, though our major task is to educate our parents, but one major and important task again is to make our families spiritual, that we ensure that our children fear God, that everyone is prayerful in the family, and then again that the family, everyone in the family knows God. And so, dear friends, I enjoin you as the church calls us to that holy family of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. I enjoin you to draw strength from this family, to draw tangent from this family, and then look up to this family, for this family is the ideal family all of us are to look into. So when we look into this family, a family where love is shared, a family where everyone is committed to the work of the family where everyone respects the other. When we look into this family as the fundamental, then we will redress our own family and then live well. So that our prayers is that broken families will be amended and that everyone will be happy in love and peace. May the good God bless his words in our hearts.